All right, the Brahmas, the airport, the 2-year anniversary of the winter storm that basically shut down San Antonio and parts of South Texas. Joining us to talk about all that and more is San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining us on Valentine's Day. Thank your wife for letting you join us on Valentine's Day. I appreciate that. Let's talk about the airport. There's going to be a new plan for the terminals and more that will be unveiled tomorrow. What do you want to see out of this, and what do you hope people take out of what they learn tomorrow?
You know, there are a few days that I can remember when our city fundamentally changes. And I think tomorrow is going to be one of those days. In 2017, I put together a task force to really address the needs of air service in the 7th largest city in the United States. And through that process in the next 5 years, we've been working towards reimagining the San Antonio airport to be a Tier 1 world-class facility that our community deserves. And tomorrow we will be unveiling renderings and some 3D imagery of at least preliminary designs of that new airport, which will be on the site of the current airport, but a new terminal facility that will be far and above, unlike anything you've seen in San Antonio before, a facility that you would expect from a world-class city with world-class aviation services. This is one part of a bigger phase-in of the redevelopment of the San Antonio airport, which will include new terminal facility, runway facility, et cetera. But this is really going to send a shot across the bow, nationally, internationally, locally, about the community, the city that we are building and that we believe we deserve in terms of facilities for aviation.
Mayor, that's how you do a tease, setting it up as a transformational day for San Antonio. So we'll be watching.
And the best news about this, though, Myra, I can't let this point go past. The way these things are built, the funds come from the airlines and from the FAA. This is not local tax dollars that will be used to build this facility. So it's really our community that gets to enjoy the benefits of this kind of visioning process for our airport. So I want to make sure that didn't slip by.
Oh, it wasn't going to. That's what I was going to ask you, was how we're going to pay for all this. So to be clear, I know we've talked a little bit about this before. Grants are applied for from the federal or at the federal level, and then those are dispersed periodically.
Yes.
I mean, it's not money that the city has sitting in its coffers right now.
That's correct. It's sort of in the planning process. We've received some FAA grants already for the planning process of this, but the way aviation facilities are built in the United States, this is a federal program because the FAA has to make sure that we have capacity and facilities available where people need to get to. And so we are part of that effort, and the growth of San Antonio's air service mandates the fact that we grow into that level of capacity need. So it will be FAA grants along the course of this implementation, and it will also be airlines, which is also part of the funding mix of major international airports. So this will not be paid for by local tax dollars, the San Antonio International Airport redevelopment.
I want to move on to what we're going to have this weekend. Football back in the Alamo Dome, professional football, the Brahmas, the XFL, rumors that The Rock's going to be in town. Larry Ramirez wanted to ask if you and The Rock were going to arm wrestle. But beyond that, there are a lot of people, you know, when you talk, you say gunslingers, you say commanders. It's a litany of failed professional football teams in San Antonio. What makes the Brahmas different, do you believe?
I think a couple things make the Brahmas and the XFL a little bit different. Every professional football league that tries to compete with the NFL will fail because NFL, frankly, is king of football, professional football in the United States and worldwide. What's different here is that you have assembled people in the front office of the league as well as in the franchises themselves, San Antonio and the other teams that are well experienced within professional sports and within the entertainment industry. There's major media sponsors already, and I think they've got that situated pretty well. The other important aspect of this is the XFL is being positioned as a collaborator of sorts with the NFL, player development, talent development. It's not competing with the NFL. In fact, it's not a partnership, but it's pretty darn close to one. You're going to see a lot of players being developed in the XFL that eventually will make NFL rosters. And so I think it's in a good position to succeed. Now, will it be great football? I happen to think so, because there's also great talented people that will be playing on the field. Some of them actually local talent from here in San Antonio, and we've got great coaching as well. So we've got to make sure it's good football as a product. But I think it's well positioned to have some staying power from a business perspective, but also from just frankly good football. And we know that San Antonio football fans will show up and show out. We're going to cheer on our home team, the Brahmas, and hopefully we'll bring home some championship gold as well.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's turn now to the city election coming up in May. There was a charter amendment proposition in front of voters. Act for SA activist group got enough signatures to put that on the ballot. It would do a lot of things, one of them decriminalizing low-level marijuana offenses and abortion-related crimes. However, there's now a legal challenge to that. A group wants those split, asking the Texas Supreme Court to step in to do that. Does that change anything in terms of putting this proposition in front of voters? Because the council's supposed to sign off on that this week, right?
Yeah, and let me be very clear. I've long been in support and on the record of a woman's right to choose, and also, frankly, that our marijuana laws in the states and across the country need a drastic rewrite. However, I will say that the city attorney's been very clear that even if these pass, that they are not enforceable because they are domain of the state government. That being said, the challenge to the way these are presented on the ballot is not in our authority. State statute, according to our city attorney, defers to the way petitions are presented from the petitioners themselves, and these have been certified as one item. And so we have a statutory obligation to put them on the ballot. You think about it, one of the most fundamental ways that citizens can redress their government is to petition. And so that's how it's being brought to us. We have what's called a ministerial duty to call the election now and to place this on the ballot. After that, it will be up to the courts and to the attorneys to decide our ability to enforce. And according to our city attorney, these are not enforceable at the city level.
Mr. Mayor, quickly before we let you go, we're hitting the 2-year anniversary from the storm that, frankly, 2 years ago on February 14th, it seemed like it was going to be fun. We'd had some snow. Didn't seem like it was a big problem. Obviously, it became much different with power outages and then people losing water. What are the lessons learned from 2 years ago, do you think, from a city perspective?
Well, there are many. And as you might remember, I pulled together a team of cross disciplines to evaluate what happened from a communications perspective, from an operations perspective, and give us an after action report so this never happens again in San Antonio. Communications wise, we've drastically improved the communications and alert system at CPS. We've also improved the cross collaboration between agencies at SAWS and CPS. CPS has reevaluated its critical circuits, and we've also added generators to the critical pumping stations in a partnership with SAWS so that we don't see power outages lead to the kind of water pressure loss that we saw during Winter Storm Uri. And then, of course, we get into the fact that when there are cascading impacts that last for a long time, there is real human impact here as well. And so we've upgraded our city vulnerable population register, so folks who are in need of special assistance, we can get to them very quickly and provide the resources that they might need to make it through. Hopefully we will never see this again, but I do want to emphasize one other point. We're updating our policies with regard to warming centers and shelters, but every time there is a weather event or some sort of emergency, our homeless service providers are out on the streets making contact with everybody who is out there unsheltered and giving them an opportunity, really trying to persuade them to come into shelter. No one should be sleeping out in the elements whether it's an electrical grid issue or it's just simply cold weather or anything else. So we do work with our homeless providers, and they are doing outreach every single day. They're even doing outreach right now in anticipation of not terrible weather this week, but a little bit colder than what we're seeing right now.
Mayor Ron Nirenberg, happy Valentine's Day, and thanks for being with us this evening.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.